That One Station Orbiting Titan Episode 7, Titan. It is early in the morning on the station time. Joe is running towards the cafeteria, dodging people walking and sweating as if it was a summer's day. As he is running, he hears Becky, one of the other station officers, call out to him. "Joe, why are you running?" Becky asked. Joe slowed down to a halt right in front of Becky and said, "Sorry, I have to get to the cafeteria. I can't be late." Joe started running towards the cafeteria again, but this time at a slightly slower pace. When Joe reached the cafeteria, he pushed open the door to find a long line of people waiting to get some food. The cafeteria was one of the biggest areas on Titan Central Station. However, there was still not enough room for a line of people consisting 80% of the station to fit nicely to one side. The line looped around the walls and spread out at the middle of the cafeteria. The cafeteria was going to close in an hour for some renovations because of instances like this, where too many people would try to get food at the same time. The cafeteria needed more vendors and food outlets. Everyone knew this well. Titan Central Station had recently endured a massive influx of new people, mostly researchers and scientists, and now the existing facilities were too small to handle everyone on the station. Joe scratched his head and thought to himself how he could have gotten to the cafeteria before all these other people. Joe, frustrated, stepped into the end of the line and waited. Not long later, Jessie, who was holding a plate full of food, came to Joe and said, "Joe, I see you're late. Imagine being late." Joe replied, "Even if I came here earlier, I would have still had to wait in line." Jessie smiled and said, "You and most of these people will be the last people to get their food. In an hour they're going to close this place and not let any more people join the line." Joe asked, "You think I will be out of this line within the hour?" Jessie replied with a short but simple maybe, or maybe they will kick you out of the line. Commander Carey is a bit strict when it comes to these kinds of things. Jessie left Joe in the line and walked to find an empty seat to start eating. Joe sighed and waited as the line slowly but surely took orders and gave food. Just over 45 minutes later, Joe finally reached the front of the line. Hungry, Joe asked the cashier, "Can I have 3 cheeseburgers and 5 large bottles of orange juice, please?" The cashier said fine and directed Joe to another line where people who already ordered their food were standing. Joe walked to the line and stood in it until his order was called. When Joe's order was finally called, he walked to the pickup counter and looked for the plate that seemed like it had 3 cheeseburgers and 5 large bottles of orange juice. There were no names or payments here, all the food was free, and a trust system was in use to pick up orders. Joe took his food and walked outside of the cafeteria. When Joe got outside of the cafeteria, he walked to his room to store the food for later. Joe was not hungry now, just like many of the other people who were in the line. Joe had not been on Titan Central Station for very long, but he knew that within the next month, so many new people would arrive to the station that he would be considered a veteran by comparison. Many of these people who came in the past few days and who will come in the coming month are researchers and scientists who will live on the station while advancing the scientific knowledge of Titan, a moon of Saturn. Joe knew these long lines were only the start.